I don't want to be with someone who can't match my level of motivation. Like him, he wouldn't fit the criteria.
Do you feel like social media makes people feel like they have a bunch of options in this day and time?
Absolutely, I do. You weren't seeing as many beautiful women on the internet. Now it kind of gives the illusion of choice because just because you see all these beautiful women on the internet.
If we go on a date and it's a crappy date, like at that point in time, like we might as well split the bill.
I don't want a man who just has money. Like I want a man who can provide protection to me. If I can't trust you, there's no point in dating you.
Does dating in 2024 seem impossible? Today I got the gems for y'all. Stay tuned, let's get it. Do you feel as though social media makes people feel as though they have a bunch of options?
Oh, for sure. I feel, and you don't, but it makes it seem like you do, but also the grass is greener wherever you water it. So if you have someone with you, but then someone else slides into your DMs and you just end up deciding to entertain that, you're taking away the growth from that relationship and spending it on somebody who probably is just trying to see, like, just test things with you and then stop talking to you.
I absolutely feel this way. I was actually just talking about this with some of my friends. I think back in the day when we didn't have social media, you weren't seeing as many beautiful women on the internet and just thinking, oh, I can have that, I can have this. You know, it was more so people in your local area that you were seeing. And now it kind of gives the illusion of choice because just because you see all these beautiful women on the internet doesn't mean that they're legitimate options.
Yeah, I think social media makes you feel as though you do have a lot of options because, like, you might look, like, I'll speak from my perspective, like, you might see a girl on Instagram, she might be attractive and different like that, but, like, you get to know this girl in person, and, like, all she had was her face. There was nothing behind.
Not even that. It was a filter.
No, I ain't say that now. I ain't say that. All she had was, you know, her looks, but then you really got to know her, and she's just a crappy person. Like, it's not gonna go past a date or two. You know, versus like if you have something serious. So, but yes, I think people have to stop, you know, being so concerned about what's on social media. Or do you feel as though people are just kind of selfish and looking out for themselves and what they can get out of relationships?
Yes and no, but I don't think that selfishness is always a bad thing. You know, I think it's important to prioritize yourself and your goals, especially when you're young. So, yeah, I mean, it can go either way.
Do you feel as though people are always trying to hide their emotions, acting as if showing emotions is going to make them look weak when it comes to dating?
I feel like yes and no. I don't know if everyone has the reasoning as to that it's coming off as weak by showing emotions, but also I feel like a lot of people have experienced or gone through experiences which make them want to be less vulnerable. So I feel like it just really depends.
I do think that people do hide behind their emotions as a type of coping mechanism. I think people who are very confident in who they are and in their skin and themselves, they're not afraid to, you know, say how they feel when they feel it. And I think that's what people should strive for.
Well, there's a certain amount of people who probably have been hurt to an extent and then they just feel as though they don't want to be with the opposite sex or whatever they're attracted to, and that's just, I want to say that's natural, but I guess that is natural. It's self-defense. Like it's a self-defense mechanism, I feel like, because you don't want to keep getting hurt, especially when you've been experiencing, or if all you've experienced is hurt through relationships, then you're probably more likely to start generalizing people.
Men and women do that. I don't think it's a new trend. I think people have been doing it for ages. But I do think that it sort of stems from, you know, a desire to protect oneself from harm. So they'll say, okay, this person's not doing for me, I can do it by myself. And that's a good thing and a bad thing because you want to be able to be independent. But at the same time, I think both men and women can benefit from each other equally.
Do you use dating apps?
I don't use dating apps.
Have you ever used dating apps?
I have, and I will never go back.
Why?
Because I don't know, I'd rather meet my person in person. I feel like...
So you wanted me to do it off Instagram?
I would prefer for that not to be the place that I meet my person. I don't know, I just feel like I picture like a cute little moment in my head of meeting someone in person and you looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I think that's real talk.
No, because I feel like dating apps is just really forcing stuff, and at the same time you're only going off of physical attraction, and I feel like sometimes I've definitely met someone that at first I wasn't physically attracted to, but once I got to know them and the personality, they started to become more attractive to me. But then I've also, on the other hand, been super attracted to someone on the first rip, and then they were just a trashy person, and then I got completely not attracted to them whatsoever. I was like, dang, yeah, you can go back from where you came from.
Yeah, I don't typically use dating apps. I've used it in the past, like for a little time period. I remember I had moved to Miami, so I, tested out a dating app for a little bit. So we in the city. But anyway, when you're interested in a guy, do you feel as though you're outgoing, trying to get his attention, or do you feel like you're reserved?
I feel like I'm more reserved. I feel like I'm very shy. Like the last person I talked to, they said, because I said I'm very loving, but also I learned from my past relationship to not show too much love to someone or give too much access to certain things too quickly. And then they told me that I don't seem like that type. But I think it's one, yeah, I probably had walls up, but also, again, I'd rather not give too much and then regret it.
If you like a guy and you're being shy, how are you gonna get his attention? How are you gonna let him know that the guy of your dreams is walking away?
I don't. I just hope that he gonna say something to me. I like to speak on this topic because I already talked to him about this.
I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
No, how I've had at least 2 guys in the last week where I've very respectfully declined their advances. And then they had a whole sassy response to what I said when I was being nice. Literally, both of them, I basically said, right at the moment, I am just not in a mental space to start anything right now, and I just would really like to start or focus on school because it's true, and I really don't have time like that outside of school, and I don't want to start something knowing that I can't give the energy that I would want to give in a relationship and to someone and the attention that person, if I did choose them, that they would deserve at that time. And they came back with some very sassy responses. One guy said, oh, but you be on IG, that's not focusing on school. No. And another guy, oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, but
people in general really need to learn how to take rejection, one, but also, especially if it's a gentle rejection, because that person is probably, one, not trying to hurt your feelings, and 2, a lot of time it is, I don't know how to say, like, appreciated.
How do you get a guy's attention that you may be interested in? If you want a guy.
I'll admit I'm shy. I can be outgoing when I am most comfortable. And I think I can speak for many women when I say that if we are particularly not interested in someone, we will be our full authentic selves. It's just easy because you don't have it in your mind that you're trying to impress someone or be a certain someone. But if I'm like really interested in someone, I'm the more reserved, shy, and I might give them a look, maybe try to spark a conversation if I'm feeling bold, but
So you're just hoping that this guy comes up to you and kind of approaches you. Do you have a list of exactly what you're looking for in a partner?
I have a few things that I think are non-negotiables now. Did you want me to list them?
Yes, can you give us an example so that you think it's non-negotiable?
Okay, if someone were to approach me, I would hope that they had something going for themselves, or at least were striving for something. A sort of ambition is very, very important to me.
I feel like a man shouldn't feel less valued in a relationship just because they're not making as much as the woman is. I feel like a lot of times, like, society puts on like that pressure for men to be the provider, to be the protector, but my thing is, even if you're not providing more than what your wife is, that doesn't make you any less of a man. Like, I feel like that's just an issue of you putting your value in how much you make when that's not what your only value. I don't want a man who just has money. Like, I want a man who can provide protection to me, make me feel safe, but also provide emotional stability and like other things that you bring to the table other than buying things from me.
All right, guys, listen, those are the pros and cons and tips for dating in 2024. Thank you, Ash, for coming out.
You're welcome.
Listen, man, we staying locked in, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that notification button. Content Performance, we out.